and welcome to the third episode of the Unheard Truths Podcast. This week, the group will be having a discussion and a formal debate over the topic and lowering the legal drinking age from 21 down to 18. With me as your host, and one side being for the lowering of the drinking age, Kieran and Fernando. Introduce yourselves.
I'm Fernando.
Hi, I'm Kieran.
And the side against lowering the drinking age, Caden and Brendan. Introduce yourselves.
I'm Brendan.
I'm Caden.
And today we are hoping to possibly share a new perspective and maybe even change some minds. So I'm going to start off this formal debate and discussion with the supportive side. Who would like to go first?
Well, if you don't mind, I'm going to intervene here. I think the first reason that the drinking age should be lowered is if you can vote, serve your country, or marry at the age of 18, you should be able to consume alcohol. Because 18 is considered the adult age in the United States of America, and most teens look forward to being that age. So, I think we should be allowed to drink at that age.
Moving on, we are going to hear a possible rebuttal from the against side. Caden and Brendan, do you have a rebuttal for what they have said here?
Okay, so pretty much y'all say that y'all like to bring it down to 18 because that's when you can do all these other things such as, the things that you mentioned and listed. Well, I feel like lowering the drinking age, wouldn't be as beneficial because pretty much with age, the body develops more, and so drinking at a younger age can interfere with the frontal lobe of the brain, and it can damage internal organs such as the livers and kidneys and stuff like that. And 18, the body's not done developing, so putting those things in, messing up those parts of your body before it's done developing can be pretty bad to the health.
I can see where you're coming from with this, but at the same time, smoking cigarettes and you can smoke at 18, so we should probably be able to drink at the same age. Also, lowering the drinking age would decrease unsafe drinking activity because the majority of underage drinking occurs at house parties, frat houses, or at your friend's house, and people really do it because they think they're cool because they're drinking and it's illegal, And if we decrease that age, we would be decreasing the amount of people that would be doing that.
Well, actually, I love that you brought that point up. So, with you saying they're thinking they're cool drinking, before, if you lower the age, you're just going to lower the age that children would think it's cool. So you're saying frat houses and colleges, they think it's cool. Lower that down, you're going to get freshmen in high school. Lower it more, then you're going to get middle schoolers. You ever seen a middle schooler get drunk?
Well, I guess, lower your point a little bit. This comes to the part where it's parents' fault now, their problems. Because if they're not parenting their kids saying don't drink at this age, it's irresponsible, then it's kind of the parents' fault. It's not the kids' fault because they don't know any better. But if they have a parent guiding them on what's right and wrong, I think lowering the drinking age could have a very good effect.
Well, wouldn't that be now too? If they're drinking illegally, it's still
the
parents.
But at 21, it's past that. It's past the age where their parents tell them what to do.
No, she's saying people our age, 17, 16, they're still drinking
because it's illegal.
Because it's
and
illegal.
They think it's cool.
I mean, I will admit, it probably gives them a little bit of a rush. They're like, oh my gosh, you're doing something, Dad. Oh, yeah, we're cool. But then again, you do have a point with parents should be parenting them children more. But if you really think about it, as a teenager grows up, the parent kind of steps away a little bit because they want to give them room to grow. So if they're younger, they're going to be on them a lot. What's right?
All right. Oh, sorry, Brendan. All right, so we discussed our first point now. Would Caden's side like to bring up any specific points they think could really help impact the conversation?
Alright, so pretty much, as we all know, teens are able to drive at the age of 16, and that's pretty young. And 21, that's a pretty far gap. That's a lot of time to get experience with driving. Now, you lower that age down to something like 18, that's not much of a gap at all to get experience with driving. So you're pretty much bringing those mind-altering toxins, to a younger age, closer to that age of where they started driving. Therefore, it would pretty much...
They're not as experienced in the driving, so if they're drinking the stuff or in consuming the stuff, then it could mess with their brain, and they're not as experienced in driving, so they're not used to being able to handle all the conditions.
Well, to go again, rebuttal. Thank you. Rebuttal against that point. Most drinking and driving, or drunk accidents, occur between the age of 18 and 21. So that means they do have the most experience, but they're the most idiotic when it becomes behind the wheel. But wait, I'm not finished. Also, actually, did I say 21? It's 18 and 30, between the ages of 18 and 30. You say they have more experience, but obviously not if they're getting the most accidents compared to us as teens at 16. So I'm just saying, I don't think that's...
Well, actually, I feel like you kind of enforced my point a little bit, because you said, drunk driving accidents happen between 18 and 30. Now, that's a pretty nice age that you say 18, the age that you don't want to drop it down to. Where the
we never said 18. We never said 18.
You just said
You said 18
We
to
said
30.
lower.
You initially said 18 to 21, then you changed it to 18 to 30. That's still 18, remain the same.
No, I only said 18 to 30 to belabor my point.
And you gotta really think about this. 18, they shouldn't be drinking in the first place right now. So I'm just wondering, why would you want to drop it down to that age where the illegal drinking, accidents are already happening, making those drinking accidents more common?
Well, you said people are allowed to drive at 16.
They are.
Yes, they are, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
And I said 18 to 30. So what I'm trying to understand is, it's still a difference between 16 and 18.
Yes.
2 years, yes, exactly.
That's 2 years of experience, where beforehand, you'd have a few more years of experience, before drinking becomes so common, and you're wanting to make drinking more common at a younger age where they have less experience. And as you said, accidents are already happening with drinking, so making drinking more common, more accidents would happen.
I guess I could agree with that. I could.
All right, now, Kieran and Fernando's side, would you like to bring up your point to either rebuttal or to bring in the new topic of the conversation?
No, I would like to hit him with something juicy. You guys say y'all don't want underage people getting drinks, but the fact is, underage drinkers will consume alcohol either way. We all know people that drink at our age, and 16, 17, that's already under the age of 21. So, if they're gonna drink anyways, why not give them what they want, but in a regulated environment?
But if they're already doing it, then that's on them, because if it's illegal and they're already drinking, then that's their problem.
And
So then what would raising the age do?
I'm also
We're not talking about raising the age.
Yeah,
we're
we're
talking about
talking-
just leaving it.
Well, also, if I will intervene, it would also raise the economy. Because what do kids our age spend money on? Food, right? Food, drinks, all that. Yeah, food, drinks, all the unnecessary things.
Video games.
Yes, okay. So if the majority of us do spend a lot of money on food, people buy pretty much every day. So if teens were to go out and buy alcohol, the United States, their economy would go way up. Trust me. Which is good for everything.
So you're saying more people getting drunk and becoming...
No, I'm not talking about
less
saying drunk.
healthy.
I'm not saying getting
No,
drunk.
no,
I'm
no.
just saying buying alcohol.
So, but them drinking at a younger age is messing with their health at a younger age, so they have more health problems in the future, but that's going to help the economy.
Well, that's whatever they do with that alcohol, that's their choice.
Everybody
Okay.
loves shady economy boost.
Yeah, whatever they do with it, it's their choice. I mean, we can't control everybody. We're just stating what rational people.
And even with the age at 21 right now, drinking, people, like I said, are going to do it anyways.
So what I'm hearing is, when you say it's illegal, kids are doing it anyways, you can bring them off the level and make it legal for them.
But if you make it legal, they have more access to it, and then do more, get more, and just make it worse. But that also brings, like we mentioned earlier, like if you lower the legal drinking age, then kids younger will start doing it because they think it's cool, and they're like, oh, it's younger, so if we just keep doing it, they'll lower it and lower it, and it'll be like 12-year-olds drinking, and that's not good because they're still in an early age of development.
I can agree with you on some of that because we don't want to push it too low. Because too low, there's a point when it's just way too low. Like 12 years old, not a chance. There's no way a 12-year-old should be allowed to drink even with their parents, because that's way too young. Like we're just saying, like lower it slightly, like maybe even to 19, like because that's the age really nothing happens. It's like between adulthood and like which one? What am I trying to say?
Nothing happens at 17.
Well, kind of, because 17 is in Texas you're kind of considered an adult, but you're not actually an adult.
It's also the quote-unquote last year of your childhood.
Yes, technically.
So that's when a lot of early life crises go through.
19 and 20, nothing really happens. Except for 20, you hit the 2-decade mark. That's about it. I think lowering the drinking age would also make it more easy for law enforcement to regulate it.
Wait, what? Wait.
For like if
Re-say it.
lowering the drinking age would result in more public drinking, making it easier for law enforcement to regulate it.
So pretty much what you're saying.
Wouldn't it make it harder because there's more people that they're having to try to deal with and control?
I think what he's trying to say is that by lowering the drinking age, it becomes less like from 18 to 21, it's no longer illegal, so they don't have to worry about those people breaking the law by drinking.
Well, people want to enjoy alcohol publicly, like drink at a restaurant or wherever. And if more people drink publicly, it becomes safer because there's no hiding involved in it. So they're not trying to sneak behind the dumpster, take a quick drink or anything.
So it's safer for them, but it's not safe for the people around them. Because some people, when they drink, they get they can't control their emotions, so some people get angry or get physical.
I mean, if you say like that drinking alcohol at a lower age is dangerous, well, you can look at any other country, and like Germany, for example, they have a way lower crime rate than America does, and their drinking age is lower as well.
Well, then again, if I'm going on their side with like for a quick second, their driving age is 18. Like you cannot, and plus it costs so much more money than the United States just to get your driver's license. And if you even get a DUI or a DWI in Germany, you will lose your license probably for life. So, because it's very hard.
Well, and it's a whole other country, a whole other government, and a whole other economy.
Well, they're much stricter than the United States for sure. Because the United States is very, I want to say negligent when it comes to law enforcement because they're not very good at it, in my opinion. But if we're also speaking, many states already allow alcohol consumption under the age of 21 as long as you're with a parent. Like if you go to a restaurant, I know in Texas some restaurants allow that teenagers to have a drink with their parent. Like not necessarily like spirits, like hard liquor or anything like that. Like a beer or wine, a small glass with their dinner, with their family.
Really quick, I just want to intervene for a second, give y'all a bit of an intermission to sort of plan out your next points. I want to read off a few facts. These lists of states will allow you to have a drink on private, non-alcohol selling premises with parental consent, meaning at your house. Alaska, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Georgia, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Mississippi, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, South Carolina, Texas, Virginia, Washington, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. Those are all states that allow you to drink in your own home with parents' consent. When reporting medical need due to underage drinking for another minor, this fact is really interesting because what it means is that if someone has drank and there's a medical emergency, you can call in that minor. If a minor has drank, you can call in that minor into a hospital, and they will not legally be charged with anything. And the states for that are California, Colorado, Delaware, DC, Indiana, Kentucky, Michigan, Minnesota, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Washington. This part is really interesting. On alcohol selling premises, meaning bars, meaning in steakhouses and any other place that offers alcoholic beverages on alcohol selling premises with parental approval in 8 states, being Connecticut, Louisiana, Mississippi, Nevada, Ohio, Texas, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. It is legally possible for your parent to allow you to drink with them. You can't buy the alcohol, but you can drink from them legally in an alcohol selling premises. So that is a very interesting thing. And those are all my facts that I thought I'd list off right now for the viewers. So we're going to head back into the debate. I believe I let Fernando and Kieran go first last, so I'm going to allow Caden and Brendan to go first now. What point would you guys like to bring up next?
All right, I'm going to bring up a point about how alcohol affects the brain and the way you think, and it can cause, hormone imbalances. And so I've seen a lot about how it can cause testosterone imbalances and stuff like that in younger males specifically. And while it alters it, it can cause mood swings and more violence. And, with males with high testosterone getting highly affected by this, it's just a lot more violence coming out from the alcohol. And the lower you bring it, you're already bringing it to, males who already have unbalanced hormones in the first place. So with the hormone imbalance, you were just saying that everybody reacts differently, and because different people have different hormone levels, and alcohol can affect that differently depending on the person.
Well, also, hormone imbalance isn't just caused by alcohol, it's caused by many other things.
Yeah, it is caused by many other things, but alcohol is one of those things.
Is it?
It is.
Do you have proof?
There are many studies.
Name one.
You know what? Okay, I don't have a specific study on hand right now, but I can throw out pretty much. How often do you hear about the dad coming home, angry, he's an alcoholic, drunk, and he beats the wife, yells at the kid, that kind of thing.
That's more of a stereotype than actual
It's really
proof.
not. Because
I will allow their point to continue.
I'm just saying domestic violence is a lot more common with alcohol involved.
Well, also, I did say earlier that only rational people should be able to allow themselves to drink at a lower age. Because there's some people that, I will agree with you, there's some people that shouldn't have alcohol or be able to drink alcohol whatsoever. But there's some people that shouldn't be allowed to drink whatsoever. Like people who have an abusive history. Their parents were abused them. Obviously they're not right in the head, so they're not gonna be able to react.
And most of those people, you guys are talking about the husbands that beat their wives, but look at their age. They're not 18 and 20.
Yeah, they're in their 40s and 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was just mainly using that as a point to show that drinking does affect, a person's mood and cause anger. But as you said earlier, I want to talk about that, where you said not everybody should be able to, only rational people should be able to drink. But you're opening up to everybody at the age of 18. You never said certain people would be able to drink at the age of 18. You're just saying bring it to 18.
And how would they regulate whether you're allowed to have it or not? Because some people some people don't know if you're in an abusive home situation. How are they going to figure that out? Because some people don't talk about it.
Well, even though some people don't talk about it, it really depends on the person. Because obviously you're not going to be able to regulate something where nobody can use it. People, you see it today, kids already still get their hands on alcohol. We can't control all of it, but we can control the vast majority of how people get it. So if they regulate it a specific way, which I think they've done a decent job, I think they could do way better with regulating alcohol as it stands, because there's still younger people getting it, 14. But I think there should be stricter laws on that if we decrease the drinking age.
Well, another thing with if we lower it now, a lot of the people that are about to be 18 and that would start drinking are people in our generation, and a lot of people in our generation have mental problems. Some people are bipolar, some people have anger issues, some people have anxiety, and the alcohol could just mess with that worse and just make it that much.
Well, like I said, there's some people that we can't control everybody. The best we can do is regulate it accordingly to how people, if they want to buy it, if they don't want to buy it, I don't know exactly, but we can't control everything. Not even if someone just wants to go out and buy something at a young age. They choose to buy it.
Yeah.
I'd like to go back to my first point I made originally. It's like saying if you can vote, serve your country, or marry at the age of 18, you should be allowed to consume alcohol. Because there's literally people dying for our country so that we could have the freedoms that we have today, and they aren't even out able to drink. Like, I think they've earned the right to consume alcohol if they wanted to, because they've literally done us so much good. We wouldn't live in the great country we live in today without them. And also, if we can vote, there's going to be people voting for this law at the age of 18. So obviously they're going to want the law to be lowered so that they can drink, because they're going to be able to vote for it. And if they can't even drink alcohol and they're voting for that law, like, how would they even, yeah, like, what's the point?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
I mean, that makes sense. That's one thing that, like, I agree with you on. If they can do all that stuff, then they should be able to. But it doesn't really apply.
See, I kind of like yours too, because, you know, back before where they lowered the voting age because of that same reason, you know, people are fighting for the country. Why can't they vote for the country they fight for? So I can understand your point, and it's honestly pretty valid. And so we're gonna come up with one of our points that I feel like is one of the strongest. And with pretty much with age comes maturity, and lowering the drinking age, you're making it more accessible to younger, less mature children, and also with them being less mature, with younger, there's also hormonal imbalances, and usually with males, and so alcohol affecting the brain can affect hormones and cause those hormone imbalances to become more severe. So something like, let's say this guy, he has a little hormonal imbalance where he gets a little aggressive every once in a while. Alcohol can enhance that, and so him in a couple, like him in a relationship, it can cause him to become a little bit more abusive. So I feel like that's one of the biggest points. Hormonal imbalances.
Yeah, we were not aware of this effect that alcohol had. That's a really good point.
I respect your point, honestly. But I still stand by my decision to lower drinking age. Fernando?
I do as well. But you guys brought up some good points.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna stand by mine with keeping it where it is. I feel like it's worked all right.
Like, y'all had good points too, but it's one of those things, like, you're on a side. I mean,
That's respectable. I understand.
yeah.
Overall, I think this was a good conversation. Even though minds weren't completely changed, we've had a conversation about it, and conversations are the way to solutions. And solutions are what we're really looking for whenever we have these debates. We want solutions to problems, and we want to also not have as many conflicts. Arguments are okay as long as they're civil. So I'm glad we had this conversation. Lastly, what I'd like to ask you to do is to vote down in the comments below who you think won today's debate. And I am your host, Warren.
Kaden.
Brendan?
Kieran?
Fernando,
And I hope you have a wonderful week, and we will see you next week.
bye-bye.